Hey all, it's Baruch Levi, B, Rabbi B. I'm here in Denver, Colorado, and I am going to share with you in a second soul coaching tool. I do soul coaching. It's what I do. Guide people through life's transitions, trials, traumas, tragedies, struggles like this, the coronavirus and all that it presents. And I work with clients to really guide them through the crossroads. I use a combination of Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, logotherapy, the psychotherapeutic modality of Dr. Viktor Frankl, author of Man's Search for Meaning. And it's a meaning-centered therapy to help people find meaning. His thesis, my thesis, is that we can get through anything in life and transform it from tragedy to triumph if we find meaning in it. And that's what we have to do. That's our mission in life. And so I use lots of tools. I really combine kind of counseling and coaching, and tools are so critical and important to be able to do that. I'm just trying to share this to my Facebook group as well. Let me just do that and we'll get going on this. I guess I'll just share it later. Oh, there it is. Let's see here, share group. Man, technology, I'm like learning a ton. I'm sure you all are too. Okay, so here we go. So I use these coaching tools because people need practical wisdom, insights to navigate. And it's not enough, it's important to talk, to feel your feelings, to process them, and that's what we do. But then we also use tools like this one. So I want to talk to you about a tool that I call Hineni. Hineni is a Hebrew word for here I am, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. I taught this yesterday in about a 2-hour format at the Kabbalah Experience. If you want to see the whole thing, you can go to kabbalahexperience.org or .com and check it out. But here's the executive summary for you all. So it really comes from the blueprint of the Torah, of the Bible. And, I don't preach and teach Bible and Torah to proselytize. I do it because it's a blueprint of how to navigate life, as many great wisdom blueprints out there, the Tao Te Ching, other, amazing texts that we need to bring now into our lives more than ever before. We need ancient wisdom and roots and tools to help anchor us and guide us during times like this. And so one of them comes from, mine comes from the Torah, and it comes from the Garden of Eden story. Garden of Eden story is a profound blueprint of how or how not to live life. Again, is it true? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't care if it's true. A teacher of mine once said, everything I say is true and some of it actually happened. So it's true whether or not it happened. The story of Adam and Eve is misunderstood. It's like a childhood tale, and it's not. It's a sophisticated tale about how do you face your life or how not to face your life. So remember, there was only one rule in the Garden of Eden, right? Don't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And of course, like children, they eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The story isn't about a punishing God. It's about a God who says one word to Adam and Eve, right? He doesn't punish them. He gives them an opportunity to own their choices. And so what does God say to Adam and Eve? He says, Ayeka, which in Hebrew translates into English as where are you? I think it's the only time it's used in the entire Torah. It's a weird word, but it's powerful. Ayeka, where are you? And it's really a question I ask myself every day, but especially now when Corona is rampant, and not just in the virus of the physiological, biological virus, but the fear is contagious. And when I find myself going down this path of fear, I say to myself, literally, I just say, Ayeka, right? Where are you? And then I have to answer it. And sometimes I'm like Adam and Eve. What was their response? Remember, God says, where are you? And what is Adam's bold, courageous response? She made me eat the apple, right? She made me eat from the tree. I mean, it's not exactly stuff of heroes and movies and fairy tales. It's quite disappointing. And I have to believe that God was disappointed. I have to believe Adam was disappointed. And I'm disappointed in myself when I blame my wife, but when I blame when I don't own my choices, take responsibility, that to me is, I don't know, the most pathetic thing of all that I can do, and we all can do. It's when I just don't own my stuff, good and bad. And so it's about facing those moments of crisis, of difficult situations, and just owning it. And what does Eve do, by the way? She blames the snake, and the snake has nobody to blame. And ultimately they run and they hide. And that's a piece of all of us. And it's a piece of the world around us today, right? In response to the coronavirus, some of us, all of us in different ways, run and we hide and we disappear into our fear. And that's human and it's understandable. And I work with myself, I work with clients on being compassionate and forgiving yourself. This is unprecedented. We don't have a rule book for this. We don't know what we're doing. We're making this up as we go along. So again, we draw on these wisdom tools to help us navigate forward. And the point of it all is from a kabbalistic perspective, is when we stray, to return. Right? In Kabbalah, it's not about sinning. It's about straying. We get off the path. And so we come back to the path. We return to the path. And how do we return to the path? By having an alternate response. So what's the opposite of running and hiding? Adam and Eve run and hide. The next story in the Torah is also another, I guess it's more inspiring than Adam and Eve, but it's not the most inspiring response. It's Noah. Remember Noah's response? God says, I'm going to destroy the world, build me a boat. And what was Noah's response, right? Aye, aye, Captain. And he builds a boat. And it's great. On the one hand, he steps up and he delivers. But on the other hand, first of all, we don't revere him in the Jewish tradition, the Christian, the Muslims that come out of all of this. He's maybe he's a historical figure. Maybe he's got some redemptive qualities, but he's not the father of monotheism because he doesn't go the next step. It's not enough to just show up and check the box, right? Noah checks the box. You got to go all in. In times of crisis, whether it was Noah, whether it was Adam, whether it's us, it's not just about showing up. It's important and it's a start. But then it's about going the extra mile. What does Noah fail to do? He fails to bring others into the conversation, right? Who's Mrs. Noah? What's her name? We don't know her name because she's not part of the story, because he didn't bring her into the story. He didn't communicate. That was my conversation yesterday in Kabbalah, the Kabbalah experience. Again, watch it online. It's all about communication. That's what the soul is. The soul is radiant light, love, communication, expansive, inclusive, and bringing others in. Noah fails because he does show up, but he doesn't go all in. So who becomes the fathers and the mother of Judaism and Christianity and Islam, monotheism? Abraham and Sarah. It's interesting too. Judaism is founded by a husband and a wife, right? Co-founders of this startup that then spun off into unbelievable contributions to the world. And it started because Abraham and Sarah showed up. And we know this because there's a word that's used when somebody fully shows up, when they are all in. It's a word that's only used a handful of times in the Torah. And it's the answer to the question that I began with. When God comes to Adam and says, Ayeka, where are you? And Adam runs and hides. And Noah checks the box but doesn't respond. Abraham and Sarah say one word, Hineni. Hineni is a word that means here I am. But it's more than just like here I am physically. Noah shows up. He's there physically. It's here I am. I am all in. I am bringing my heart, right? There's nothing more I can bring to this conversation. I am present for you. And that's the response that the divine was looking for from Adam before he ran and hid, or from Noah before he checked the box, and from each and every one of us. It's used sparingly throughout the Torah, but it's used in key moments. Moses at the burning bush, and Jacob wrestling, or not wrestling, but one of his encounters in the nighttime. And they say Hineni, right? This is painful. This is scary. Abraham and Sarah are told to go into the unknown. They don't know where they're going. We don't know where we're going. Look around you, right? The leaders don't know where we're going. We are all lost in this together. But you know what? We can get through this. We can navigate our way through this if each and every one of us doesn't run and hide like Adam. If each and every one of us doesn't just check the box and show up and do the things that need to be done, that's important. But if each and every one of us says, Hineni, here I am, to our spouse or our children or our parents or our siblings, our neighbors, our co-workers, strangers. It's hard right now because we don't have the physical interaction, but there are virtual ways. And there are a myriad of ways to show up and tell somebody, Hineni, here I am. But this isn't just about going out into the world and saying Hineni to others. Again, I work with my clients all day on saying Hineni to themselves, right? I work with so many accomplished, successful, giving people. They're out in the world fixing, repairing, giving. I work with them to help center themselves, to get soul-centered so that they're at the center. Because right now, you watching this are obviously attuned and tuning in to important things. I'm going to toot my own horn. I think this is important because you are trying to fill yourself up, because you know at some deep level, the world depends on you. Your world depends on you. 1,000 different reasons and people, and you're at the center. And if you drift, if you lose yourself, then they're lost, right? They need you, the sun, S-U-N, to orbit around. And if you don't find your center, your center for them to orbit, they're going to be lost. And so I work with clients to come back to their center, to take this time like this for themselves. It's not selfish. It's self-centering on the path to soul-centering. And one of the ways you do that is when you find yourself wandering, when you find yourself off balance, out of whack, feeling the doubt creep in and the fear begin to overtake you, ask yourself these two profound words in Hebrew, a couple words in English. In Hebrew, the word God asked to Adam, Ayeka, where are you? You could just say to yourself as a mantra, Ayeka, or where are you? And you can respond by saying, Hineni, here I am. And when you feel lost and when you feel confused, you just say, Hineni. You're not expected to know the way out of this. None of us do. But you are expected by the Creator, the Source, by the people who depend on you, your loved ones. And you know this by your soul. Yourself is calling out to you at times like this to rise up and become that patriarch like Abraham, become that matriarch like Sarah, become the type of person that can respond, Hineni, here I am. Not only checking the box, which is a starting point, but all in with my heart, my whole self, here I am. And I'll end with this. There's a great Hasidic tale I've shared before about really saying Hineni, here I am to others. One individual is lost in the woods and he's getting scared. Have you ever been lost in the woods? It's a scary feeling. I've been lost in the forest. And doesn't know his way out. He finds another traveler along the way. And he says, do you know the way out of here? I'm lost. And the other guy says, brother, I don't know the way out. All I know is don't go that way. And he took the man's hand and they walked in a new direction. Ultimately, what that man says is, I don't know the way out, but Hineni, here I am. I, Baruch Levi, you, whoever you are watching this, you don't know the way out. None of us do. None of our leaders do. How do we find our way out of this forest? By showing up in our own lives and saying, Hineni, here I am. And then when others are around us and they look lost, by taking their hands and saying, brother, sister, don't go that way. And walking this way, the path of Hineni. Here I am, together. So I wish you a Shabbat Shalom, a soulful Sunday, a worry-free weekend. I hope you join Ariella and I on many of our experiences, our offerings online. They're all complimentary. They're all here on Facebook or over on soulcenter.org. Tomorrow we're going to be doing the Shabbat experience, 8 a.m. Mountain Time. You do the math on the rest. We're going to be bringing in the concepts of Kabbalah and Judaism, of the Sabbath, we're universalizing it and modernizing it and spiritualizing it, making it accessible for anybody and everybody. You are welcome, and we hope to see you. And don't forget to bring your yoga mat. Shalom, salam, peace, namaste.